Hi, and welcome to Creator Fundamentals. My name is Dan Courier, and it is my mission to simplify YouTube so you and I can grow together. So tonight's going to be a little bit different. We got something new for you. I am happy to have Gord Isman here with me tonight, and we're going to talk a little bit about the YouTube Partner Program, and he's going to share his experience and what he has committed to in reaction to the YouTube Partner Program. So Gord set up a challenge for himself, and I'm going to let him tell you more about it. So I would like to introduce everybody to Gord Isman. Welcome, Gord.
Having me, it's a pleasure to be here. Is this your first co-hosted or
you are the
guest
first
scenario?
You are officially the first guest on Creator Fundamentals.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, I appreciate you welcoming me here. And everybody, I'm Gord Isman. I'm also a fellow small YouTuber, and I have a channel on YouTube where I teach everybody about how to be like a ninja at video editing and video creating, as well as I share tips on video marketing and YouTube. So I'm kind of diversified, and that's always a challenge to keep balanced and going, but that's my jam, and I'm really enjoying it. And I'm a specialist in video editing with a tool called Kjpargeter, for those that are familiar with it, and I have a ton of tutorials on that. So that just gives everybody an idea, Dan, about my channel. And then do you want me to talk about the challenge? Introduce that?
Yes, absolutely. Tell everybody about what you have committed to.
Okay, so as Dan has made it all of us well aware through a few videos, and I've also myself done some interviews and videos on the topic of the YouTube Partner Program changes that just came out on January 16th. And I happen to be one of those people that fall into the net of ones that would not qualify, but I'm like close. So at first I felt like I had a real wallop punch in my gut when I wasn't able to qualify. And it started to get me to think about all of this work that I've put in, you know, because when I read the information and it described, it couched everybody into not what I would call the very best of descriptions. And, you know, so people that are hardworking and building their channels, you know, felt like they were broad brushed with the people that they're trying to eliminate for the right reasons, right? And so it took me a little time to kind of like find my internal peace on that. And then I said to myself, well, you know, there's two criteria for qualifying for the program eligibility, one of which is the 1,000 subscribers, which I more than qualify for now. I have like 1,840, I think, sometime today. And then you need 4,000 hours of watch time. So when on January 16th, on my rolling 12-month equivalent, I had about 3,100 hours. So I'm like 3/4 of the way there. And then I did some little analysis based on the analytics for my time, watch time, and I discovered that I would need about 2.5 times my normal monthly volume to make it, to qualify. So although I was upset with the way they handled things, and I was deeply hurt, and I think, you know, they made mistakes that, you know, are going to leave scars on a lot of people for a long time, I said to myself, well, you know, maybe this is a wake-up call for me, because over months I've been contemplating, you know, should I do this, should I do that? And I'm you know, I often overthink, and so I'm often on the sidelines and not doing some of the things I want to do to move myself forward, because YouTube is just one part of what I want to ultimately execute on. And so I've been spending a lot of time trying to move those other things along, for like the offline stuff and making money around YouTube and my skills and experience. So this was a big wake-up call. And so last weekend, I went on Saturday and shared a challenge with everybody that I'm going for the 4,000 hours. And by the way, it's not about the AdSense, although I had qualified for the partner program before. Based on, not with raising the bar, I won't qualify, but right. I've never used monetization. So even if we put it on, we all know it's not going to amount to more than a Starbucks coffee or less uh, anyways. And so that's not my motivation. My motivation is more about seeing if I can actually raise the bar and perform better in many ways. And some of those I'm going to share with you, because that's why I created the 4,000 hour challenge. And so that's and I did a video on that on Saturday, and then one with an analysis on the YouTube Partner Program a few days before that, and they're also on my channel if people want to see that as well. And in there I shared about the challenge. So do you want me to just keep going, Dan?
If you have more to share,
some...
yeah. I mean, I think Gord definitely touched on a number of important items already, one of which is the idea that he has plans above and beyond YouTube. And I think that's a wise idea for anybody that's trying to grow a business or possibly turn YouTube into something bigger than just uploading videos. The idea of diversifying exactly what you do, and if you are interested in monetizing, exactly how you monetize, and not put all your eggs in the AdSense basket, because as we know, that can come and go. Obviously, YouTube has proven that they can adjust the criteria by which you qualify. So anytime you have the opportunity to develop some type of plan going forward where you're diversifying the ways that you make money, you're never going to find yourself in a situation where the loss of one revenue stream is going to kill you or be such a negative impact as a lot of people responded to this. So yeah, I mean, the reason that I wanted to have Gord on it on the channel is because that yes, like me, like many small YouTubers, the initial reaction was kind of a gut punch, or hey, that's not the best feeling in the world. But instead of dwelling on it, both him and I have taken the position of how can we reach that goal? What can we do to challenge ourselves to actually move forward? And I thought Gord's 4,000 hour challenge was a great example of what I think all small YouTubers should strive to do. And that is set yourself goals, figure out exactly. The first thing that I did is like Gord, I did the math. I'm like, okay, this is what I have now. This is what I need it by. What do I have to achieve on a daily basis to get there? And now through the response from all of you guys, I am absolutely amazed at what has happened to this channel in the last week. I think we're up to 2,050 subscribers now because you guys all responded to the video that I originally put out about this, and I thank you. But the math I did for the watch time, you know, I think I needed like 2,000 minutes a day or something like that to get to the goal. So one of the things that I put in place was doing more live streams, and what better way than bring on somebody like Gord. So
so we're helping Dan as we talk about the problem, about helping to fulfill that goal, and that's a perfect example. Sorry to interrupt you, but I was excited about that to see, because you know, you also jumped on something which is also very significant. You know, aside from the fact that you're a specialist in YouTube, but you also jumped on the fact that there was this very important news, and you were first, like, you know, one of the first to market on it, which is something that people, you know, can benefit greatly from. That was a trend, and you jumped on it big time, and you were even like the update they did the other day on the Creator Insider channel. You were like, there was Dan in the car in the afternoon giving everyone an update.
Yeah, I literally watched that video and went straight to my car to do that update, because I know a lot of people don't follow that channel, and even the people that follow that channel may not have seen it. And I thought that the biggest, I mean, most of it was kind of a recap of what we already knew. But there was that one little tidbit that I thought was kind of a golden nugget in terms of kind of relieving a little bit of anxiety for people who were making use of the external links, that maybe it won't be quite so hard to reach that goal. So
let's talk about that for a second, if we can. When I felt part of the gut pain, was my first reaction was, oh my God, I'm going to lose all of this stuff. And the funny thing was, not many people focused on the external linking out. And in fact, many said it's gone. And that just, you know, wasn't the truth, because those that may have already qualified and have that external linking out, they're grandfathered in, and it's not going to be lost. So once I heard that, that gave me a big sense of relief and helped me heal my little wounds more quickly. And the reason for that was because so many of us do depend on that ability to link out through cards and end screens in order to do what we're doing outside of YouTube. So I also am, greatly appreciative of the fact that the platform allows us this kind of opportunity. Because there's all the arguments about, hey, you got an infrastructure, you're reaching out to the world, and it doesn't cost you a dime. But it's a two-sided story. They need creators in order to make their platform successful. So we are part of that equation. So although we're small, they still, small people grow up, right? And we all go through our own kind of experience to expand and grow. And we never know when our time comes that we're going to blow up, or if we do or don't blow up, and all of those things. But we're here and we do this because we have a passion and we want to serve people. So what I did like about his little conversation was he actually made an emphasis to say that he made an effort to show a little more empathy that was missing in the original announcement. And I think that helped a little as well, but that was still kind of an informal way of communicating, if you know what I mean. So
that's the one
it was odd.
Yeah. I mean, I do find it interesting the way YouTube shares information is very disjointed sometimes. It comes from multiple places, so you kind of have to be on top of things to figure out where the next tidbit of information comes. The one thing I will say, to YouTube's credit, I know not everybody is thrilled with YouTube, but I do get the fact that ultimately long term these changes will be an improvement to everybody who is monetized, because it's going to make the program stronger, because there are going to be less channels that are monetized and they'll have more humans interacting with them. So they'll kind of close that gap. But the one thing that I appreciated with the information that he shared was that YouTube recognizes, despite their percentages, that this does hurt some people. And they went so far as to make the concession or acknowledge the fact that they were going to tweak the external link feature as to lessen the impact on YouTubers who are trying to use that particular feature to grow their channel.
Yeah, so exactly, because there was one lingering worry about that was, okay, even though that the people are grandfathered in, they said that they're going to be announcing on February 20th, right, some changes to those elements. So they came out and said that they are lowering the test level as far as it relates to something like that, like external links, right? So that brought a little further sense of calm to people that were wondering, oh my God, like, is that going to be ripped away from us too, right?
And that goes into, I mean, if you want to talk a little bit about, I mean, there's probably a lot of people in the chat right now who are not making use of external links. Personally, I haven't really used external links. Can you talk about some of the ways you've kind of branched outside of YouTube and use that to grow your business? Okay.
So, as you know, I've created a lot of deep dive tutorials, especially on things like Camtasia, and then I have an ebook I created, like this 30,000 word ebook called Better Videos from Home, and it's got all kinds of tips and cheat sheets and things in there. It's geared to help people go from scratch to setting up video in their house, right up to the level of being ready to press record. That was like sort of my first major thing that I wanted to deliver to people, so that it helps them through everything from gear to lighting to backdrops to green screens to product selection, from microphones. It's very comprehensive. In fact, it took me almost literally almost a month to compile and put together. And that is the first vehicle I use to build my email list. So in the long run, in order to get what I want to do out to serve people, which is to coach them to succeed in their video or help them produce the video that they want, and as well as build their YouTube channel and learn all the stuff for SEO and how to succeed in starting and implementing a channel. So I do different services for those things. But my first thing was linking out for this ebook, which I then supported through an end screen card and sometimes a regular card, plus in the video description, a link out. And that helped me start to grow my list. And, it worked consistently, and it still does. And I'm grateful for that. But then I took that to another level, and that is because I've done a lot of cool projects in the Camtasia tutorials. I decided I'm going to share some project files so people can actually get a step ahead and say, oh, look, Gord created this cool spinning and moving logo with these cool transitions. and I say, here's a download link to get your free project file, so people can actually download that file. And they do that through opting in on my email list, and it allows me to segment people that are interested in my Camtasia tutorials focus in the channel. So that's like a second. I mean, it's still the same thing, but that's like a targeted lead magnet associated with the a particular video. It's like that specific. But now I'm building a body of work out there. So once people see one, and they get through suggested videos and other things, for all you know, then you start to see they're downloading different things, and they're learning a whole bunch of different things, and now I become a person that's given them some nice product to work with and build their skill. So that was the second. I also do product reviews, and you do that too, right, Dan? Or you started to?
I mean, one of the things
TubeBuddy and other stuff like that.
Yeah. And that is a great segue, and I've mentioned it to some of you guys, and it's just amazing how things can change. I worked for 7 months, put out over 100 videos on this channel, and then in the past week, we had a lot of awesome changes. Obviously, we gained 1,200 subscribers in like 5 days. And one of the best things that happened is TubeBuddy is now a sponsor on the channel. So they are an ongoing sponsor. So I want to take this opportunity. If you're not familiar with TubeBuddy, I want to let you know that TubeBuddy is the #1 browser plugin to help you manage and grow your YouTube channel. You can actually download it for free. There's a link in the description below. So if you've never used TubeBuddy, I highly recommend that you head down there, you download it for free, and check it out. It has a bunch of tools, keyword research, custom thumbnails, all kinds of tools that can help you take your channel to the next level. So definitely check that out. And if you decide you want to upgrade to one of the paid versions, you can use the promo code DANSBuddy to get 20% off your TubeBuddy. So I'm super thrilled to be working with them. They're a company that I totally believe in because I use them every day. So it was a match made in heaven for me. So very happy that they're on board and supporting
that's great.
creative videos.
I depend on TubeBuddy too. I love their product, and there was huge value in it. And I do a lot of my research for my SEO work using their products, as well as look at the health reports and use the various codes for short links and other things for subscriptions and other stuff. And it's invaluable. And I'm going to grow more with it. And so I totally agree with you there. So. And myself, I've now been approached by a few sponsors and haven't decided how I'm going to integrate that into what I do yet. But there's things starting to happen, and I had, So I was talking about so then there's so affiliate links for products that you do reviews on or endorse or use yourself, and so I've done some of those, and I continue to do that. And I also, now that I'm building an email list, there are also other products that maybe I don't even get a chance to do a review for, but by building an email list outside, you're able to promote other things that may come present in the marketing space that can help the kind of people that I serve, because a lot of people create videos for video marketing, and it's nice to be able to get asset packs and different kinds of special effects things that can be very useful for them to help it build out on their videos. So I would, if I don't own the product or test it or whatever, and if I endorse it and want to support it, I will share that opportunity with my group. So that's another way. And then of course the last one, well, tied to all of this, is I promote my website in my videos, and so then people can link out and see the kind of services that I have to offer to them as well, and learn a little more about me and my story. So
yeah, and that's the I was just gonna say, one of the things that I've personally been working on is building out my website. Trying to develop that destination, that hub, if you will, that's outside of other platforms. And again, if you're somebody who has found yourself concerned with the stability of YouTube, not that I think YouTube's going anywhere, but in terms of their ability to change the rules on you, one of the ways you can kind of hedge your bet in that regard is to think about, growing, like Gord said, with the email list, but not only that, but having that central location like your website, And Gord's is gordisman.com, I believe. You can check him out there. It's also youtube.com/Gord Isman.
Right.
So if you haven't checked out his channel yet, definitely head over there and check him out. But just having that out there, and you know, I've worked on kind of developing, you know, some services that I would like to offer in the future. I have you know, a few basic services that I provide to people now. But I think that's a great way, that's something that everybody should consider, trying to, you know, not only multiple revenue streams, but having, you know, you know, your entity outside of a platform, because the platforms can change at any time. You know, so Facebook or YouTube or any of those can change their rules at any time. And if you want a little more independence, it helps to have, you know, something you control, like your website. And those kind of things.
Can I add? I mean, you also raised a few very important points that I think all of us that are small should be thinking about. Actually, anybody. The changes, we don't know how often, how frequent. We do know that they do a lot of experimentation. We do know that they've already announced other changes forthcoming tied to these announcements that we just have dealt with in the last little while. So embracing the fact that there's change is, you know, very important, so that you don't go through the ups and downs. Like I had my up and down the last week plus, and so and you know, the best thing to do is to be able to focus that energy on what you want to do for yourself and to serve, and focus there and bring that forward, and you'll inspire and impact other people. And look, I was about to dive deep into one of 2 courses I want to produce this year, and I actually said, I'm going for this 4,000 hours because I actually want to get opportunity to have conversations like we're having now, so that people can appreciate. I may or may not make it, but I'm here trying to up my game, because these are things that I wanted to do and have thought about, but for whatever reason was stuck in my mind, or paralyzed for some reason or other, or still not out of my, you know, still fighting the comfort zone thing to take a step. For example, going live, just like we're doing right now, right? I did a couple of collab videos last night. I have another 1 or 2 collabs going on in the course of this week. So, you know, I think this is one of the things we wanted to also mention, Jan, right? Is what are some of the things I'm doing to challenge myself? I'll go into depth a little more if you want.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So, I mean, because go ahead.
Go ahead, Dan.
I was going to say, this is, I mean, everybody should kind of, you know, pay attention to this in terms of the kind of things that you can do to, you know, not just say you hope you make it, but, you know, consider how you can challenge yourself to do something more than you're doing up to this point. If you think you're going to come up short of that goal, you know, you have the opportunity. There's still the better part of a month to, you know, try to make a positive change for whatever part of that goal that you're trying to receive, or you're trying to achieve. So, Gord, let them know what.
I'm just going to give us just a quick side anecdote. When I was working in my corporate job, and I'm not exactly a youngster anymore, even though I feel super young at heart because I'm a YouTuber. I was at like an executive business school, you know, not retreat thing, but an intense thing with sort of like VP and C-level people. And I was a director at the of IT in the company I was at. And we had an exercise to do. And then they told us, you know, they set an approximate time that they should hope that people can complete the task by. And it was a team work thing and a bunch of us. So we were so excited. We got within like 5 or 10 seconds, and we beat it by a little. And so did it, like all the other teams in the room. But then they said, well, we just told you a minute and you guys worked to go to that bar. But guess what? The actual top performance of this kind of task is done in like 20 seconds, not a minute. Go back to the tables and come up. So we all went back and figured out ways to raise the bar to get to another level of performance. And I feel that this is that same kind of thing, because I wasn't really, you know, having anything really testing myself or pushing accountability on my performance. Now I'll call it, I found an excuse to raise the level of my game. Right. And so now also, because I'm going out like this and chatting, it forces more accountability on me. So that's why I'm sharing with people when I go on, like some of the things that I've done. So Another thing I did today is I started to look at my videos and realized, yes, I have so many playlists, but I actually have opportunity to create other ones because people don't necessarily want to go and look through 22 videos in a playlist or just look at it and be like overwhelmed. So I said, okay, my Camtasia stuff can be nicely broken down into a few different categories. So today I created a playlist on audio editing. Okay, so I'm just giving an example. And as we know, creating a new playlist creates a new contact ID, which generates more, presence or searchability or discoverability on your channel and supports you in other ways in search. So I'm going to start to do these little things that I kind of, knew they were there, but I did them for a little bit, but I haven't been well disciplined in the practice. So that's another one. Um, then, yeah, and social distribution on social media. I only recently started to use Instagram, and I've started to do videos on how to do social video, and one of them was on Instagram stories as well. But I haven't really used Instagram that much because I've been so often hearing people say, "Oh, we really use it for behind the scenes stuff and showing some, interesting stuff about our character and other kinds of things that people want to learn about us, not necessarily, pushing whatever our mainstream thing is in something like YouTube." But I wanted to get a start, so I've created promo videos, little short things that fit under the 60-second window. So I'm starting to use Instagram, and I'm going to start to do some more social media support for helping people get aware of what I'm producing. Right.
Nice.
That's about number 3. More content. So because I love to do the deep dive tutorials, a lot of my videos are anywhere from like 8 to 11, 12, or sometimes even longer minutes. I have some over 20 to 25 minutes in the big grand scheme of things. And I realized that my nature was to give the whole kitchen sink on a topic in a video. And, I've been learning more and appreciating that not everybody wants the full thing, and they don't want it all at once either. So I'm realizing I can give certain aspects of what that deep dive tutorial is in something more bite size and in smaller lessons that make sense for people to consume. And so, for example, I'm working on a video now on special effects, on resources and things to do that, where I had done it and covered it, but just a little on the tail end of another video, feeling I had to cover it because it was about doing a sound effect. Do you see what I mean?
Right.
So it's things like this, discovering through the content you already have that you may already be able to do things to serve and use some of your better performing videos to analyze for those opportunities, right?
Yeah, and I just want to touch on that especially for anybody that's doing how-tos or tutorials, and you have the opportunity to do something, that's going to run 10 or 15 minutes long. And Gord kind of touched on this, but it is an interesting concept or a way to come up with more content. If you think about recording that detailed how-to before you do it, with the idea that you're going to release it as an entire video, and then you're also going to break it into modules, like he said, like quick hits. Think about that beforehand, and then you potentially can pull out multiple pieces of content from the same recording. So you do your full-length tutorial, and then you go, okay, well, maybe it's OBS. So maybe you do a full, from install all the way to the end, a 15-minute tutorial, but then you do how to install OBS, how to make your first live stream, how to set up scenes, how to do transitions. And you can break them out into individual videos. Any opportunities you have to reuse that kind of content can definitely help you not only, get more views, get watch time, and especially while everybody's looking for watch time. And it kind of reminds me, one of the things that you can do on live streams, and this is actually something that I first considered doing when I first started live streams, because honestly I was concerned how awkward it would be if I did a live stream and nobody showed up. So one of the ways you kind of overcome that is that you plan out an entire video. You come up with a topic and you do it as if you're going to record it. You set yourself up with bullet points, and then you you start your live stream, and then you go through it like if it's a video at the beginning. So you have something to talk about.
Right.
You're not in a position where you're waiting for people to respond, because the chat's usually delayed and it gets really awkward. But at the very end of that, you can leave the live stream as it is in its entirety, interacting with people. Then you can download it, you can trim the front, and you can actually upload the front as a separate video. And I did that quite a few times with my first
those are great suggestions. And in fact, when I did a couple of interviews a while back, and by the way, that's something else I'm going to be doing more of now, is interviews, because I want to bring experiences from creators out there that create video, whether it's live video or they're producing video for business or marketing purposes, and share some of their experiences and how they're applying video and some of their secrets and tips. So, but when you're doing the interview, I try to structure it and have a series of like sort of major question points I want to get through. And I find successfully, and I did this with the interview, my first one ever, and I did it with Nick Nimmin and with Naomi. I had 10 questions I wanted to go through, and I in the end, I broke it down to 6 mini videos, and it was just great. And then there are people that want to consume sitting from beginning to end, and people that just want, okay, I want a 5-minute snippet now. And also, by being able to edit it after, it lets you pull the highlights together, and sort of people can get the punches. And you know, a lot of people nowadays watch things with Chrome extensions and tap up the speed, and you know, everybody's different in how they enjoy things. So I used to think there was only one way to produce it, was the deep dive kitchen sink approach, and now I'm appreciating more having a variety of those options for people is very important. So that's one of the things I'm going to do with some of the content I'm going to try to create to go for the March to 4,000. So that's one thing. And so live streaming with interviews was what I was alluding to there. And I'm going to probably do some more basic level tutorials, because I think I thrived on dealing with some of the more complex and sophisticated aspects of things in some of the tutorials, and giving all the tips and tricks to do the cool, ultra cool stuff. And that's what a lot of people want. But I'm also learning more and more now, because as people are reaching out to me, some people want the basics. Some people aren't even familiar with the software, and they want to learn some of the basics first. So I feel I kind of like need to serve a broader scope of what I've already done. So I mean, that's as a result of getting feedback. And by the way, I have to say, I was really impressed. Like, a lot of people reached out after I did my last 2 videos and put the challenge out there, telling me, you know, making suggestions for ways for me to, like, as I said, I'm going live, right? And so, you know, you get suggestions on different things to do, because I haven't yet decided how I want to deal with actually doing a live tutorial experience.
Right.
Because that can be kind of scary if it doesn't work out and you have things not cooperating with the software, but maybe something planned, which to execute and let people ask questions. I remember Nick Nimmin did a few of those in his earlier days of his live streaming, right?
Yep.
And then, okay. Oh yeah, of course. And this one is very close to your heart. It's focusing more on my analytics and really getting appreciation for what's my best performing and stuff, and what can I do more of, because you know, your likelihood for greater success is to be able to do more of the stuff that you're succeeding with. And then, you know, you'll do well if you do the right job in your SEO work and your titling and congruency and relevancy, that you'll be able to help draw out more watch time as well. So
yeah, there's definitely, and surprisingly, analytics videos don't tend to do super well, even though I think that they're super important. But there is a lot of information in your analytics that can help you grow, from understanding which videos were successful to not, in terms of your audience retention, how an individual video compares to other videos of the same type of topic in terms of audience response, knowing where your subscribers come from, so you can focus in on the type of videos that got you the most subscribers. These are all things that you can pull from your analytics that can help you develop the plans that we're talking about to actually move forward at a faster rate of growth. And it's not so much that you have to focus. My cat wants to make an appearance. It's not so much that you have to focus on trying to grow, but if you constantly try to improve and you make it a point to understand what's actually happening on your channel, the growth just happens. You know, I mean, on this channel, I don't make a video or I don't share a video with the idea of how this is going to grow my channel. Right. I consider whether it's relevant to my audience, whether they will appreciate it. I mean, in terms of that video that just it's now over 20,000 views. When I made that video, it was all about who am I making this video for? Why is it important? How do I feel? And how are they going to feel? You know, and that is how I chose to approach that topic, because I knew there were going to be a lot of people like I was who was literally, you know, in shock.
Well, when you're dealing with an issue that hits the heart, you can get a lot of interest. There's no question.
Yeah,
and I really like. I really like this point. I'm trying to think about. There was a message I wanted to share, which was related to that, but it'll come back to me. Continue what you're saying, and I'll jump in when I got it.
But yeah, I mean, it was just a matter of trying to understand, and you can use your analytics to understand what resonates with your audience. A lot of people think they know what their audience is or who they are or what they like, and they just keep making videos, the same kind of videos. But you can use your analytics to understand exactly what they've responded to the best. But I mean, in the case of that video, the big point of that video is it showed me how important it is to create that emotional engagement with someone. And more so, it seems, than a lot of analytics and keyword research and anything else. If you meet somebody in the emotional state that they're in, or you trigger an emotion in them, it's very powerful. And obviously my channel was proof of it in the last week.
Yeah, and the fact that you were very smart and got out there early. Like there's several elements to what you executed.
Relevancy,
right?
Timing, emotion. I think all those things played together.
Yeah, and another important part tied to all of this is the fact that you know, about one of the struggles I've always had is I like to create videos that I think is what they want. And so that will be number one, top of mind, because I'm most inspired as a creator to create the things that inspire me. And we all should, in principle, be creating awesome stuff that inspires us, right? Mm-hmm. But it's if you see that the analytics are telling you that, you know, that deep dive tutorial on this subject didn't go anywhere, well, then maybe you need to think twice about that and learn from what you've done to see that you're on target and doing stuff that's relevant for what your audience wants.
Right.
And this is, you know, this is one of the cool things is really, you know, what I find an interesting puzzle to solve in the world of YouTube is really trying to understand what your audience wants and talking to them and connecting with them. And so something I'm going to do pretty soon is produce a survey, and hopefully people will participate. And I haven't really done enough of that, asking them what they're looking for. But a practice I use to learn about that is I can go look at other people's websites that produce maybe similar or related content and see how people are commenting there. If there is someone that's much bigger than me, you know, there's all kinds of little techniques we can use to explore that. But I'd love to hear more directly from my people. And the fact that I gave this challenge out on the weekend, it connected with a lot of people's emotion, and I've been getting a lot of support. And so people are starting to share more of their interest in their feedback and suggestions because they're supporting the cause that I'm stretching myself to try and make this. And I greatly appreciate that people are doing that.
And, you know, on the note of hearing from the people, I just want to jump in the chat real quick and say hello to everybody. Since we've been kind of going on for a while here, see what's going on in there. I see Jerry and Linda's Place. Thanks for joining the stream. We have Avalon Acres Farm. Of course, we have British Cook, who is nice enough to be doing the moderating in the group today. I appreciate it. Drew?
That's great.
If you haven't checked out British Cook, you definitely need to check out his channel. He's got a lot of videos on there to make you hungry, so Definitely check him out. Let's see. Civil Guy. Rodney B. Hunt. Good to see you. I saw Doug Houston in there earlier. The Geeks of Retro. Good to see you. He said he would love to come on and talk with you. And cool. Happily Ever Outdoors. If you're doing outdoor videos, my other channel is The Average Dan, which is on RV camping. You should reach out and take a look. See if there's some common ground.
Did
there.
Anybody pose any questions? We didn't really ask anybody to toss questions in, but
yeah, if anybody has any questions for myself or Gord, definitely throw them in the chat now, and we'll do our best to answer those. What we're probably going to do, if anybody's interested, Gord's going to hang around for a little bit, and then after that, we'll let him get to growing his YouTube channel, and maybe I'll do some channel reviews. So if anybody wants their channel reviewed, you can let me know as well, and we'll get to that after that. Yeah.
But so Dan, can I just share something while
absolutely.
So maybe some people will queue up a few questions. So I started out. I don't know if I mentioned this, or maybe I did. So last week went around the 17th, the day after, when I first looked at my my watch time on the 12-month window. I was at about 3,100 hours, and now I'm over 3,300 in the space of a week. So nice. If we stretch the math out another 3 weeks, I'm going to be like, if I can sustain this kind of growth in terms of watch time, I'll be like right at the wire. It's going to be fun anyways. Nice. And just seeing how I respond. I'm already feeling the pressure, but I'm trying to do so many things, and that's one of the interesting parts of this whole journey in YouTube. You just have to, and doing what you're going to do outside of it is to wear so many hats to try and keep different things afloat and right. in progress, and you can't do it all. So
yeah, a lot of people don't realize just how involved it is to be successful on YouTube. You have to wear a bunch of hats, and you have to you kind of have to learn how to improve in all those different areas. So it's definitely not a stroll in the park, but there's a ton of opportunity. I saw somebody that asked about, let's see who that was, asked about advice. I think it was Scott. Where did he go here? Tyler Scott Illusionist asked, what's your advice or Gord on keeping consistent schedule of quality content? What do you have to say about that, Gord?
Okay, and that's for me, that's the biggest challenge. For the longest time, my focus in my channel is about 19 months old now. So believe it or not, even though I have 1,800 subscribers and I'm at that level of hours, that's 18 months of good hard work. But for most of it, I was only able to produce one video a week. And consistency is key, because I can tell you there were 2 periods where I took breaks for almost a month. And when I say break, it was not break from what my big goals are and wanting to succeed on YouTube. It was like I took a break because 2 breaks, because one was I wanted to do research and do my ebook and engineer other things around building the business. And then another break was getting direction for a website and other stuff to do with the business. So they happened at different times. And ironically, not ironically, what one might expect, my channel started to slow down, right? Mm-hmm. But this time, over the time, so I've been pretty good for a while, still doing one video a week, but I got to 2 videos a week and my channel is going along. But then all of a sudden, I don't know exactly what happened in November, December, but I do think some of it has to do with some external sites started to recognize the depth of my playlists on things like Camtasia and other stuff. And I've got some more external recognition. So I'm getting more input from outside to come to my channel. But since then, my growth rates increased, but I've not been able to increase. I wasn't able to increase my consistency to get to 2 videos per week. I wanted to get to 2 videos per week and do a live stream. All of these things are now part of my challenge to take on. And see, Kitty's agreeing.
Yes, she is. She's noisy.
So to be consistent, you really got to make it a discipline that you make yourself accountable for, And, you know, I used to get like so upset. I'm at day 5 and I don't have the video done, and I've been doing all these other things and allowing other stuff to distract me. Well, you really got to appreciate on how to get your priorities straight. If you really want it, you got to, you know, deliver for yourself, and stick to, I got to get this done before I'm going to maybe go off and do certain other things, because, you know, and don't, and at first, not at first, but remember there was a cycle when there are these people like Evan Carmichael and Gary Vee and all of these other huge YouTubers that have like a staff of video editors, and they're pumping out multiple videos a day. And then it came out like, you know, if you're not producing 2 or 3 videos a day, it's like you're going to get smoked. And I'm going like, really? So I understand how that will help. And of course, more videos, more production, more discovery, more people watching your stuff. But if it's going to make you a crazy man or a crazy woman, it's not going to matter, right? So we got to find our way to find the efficiencies in what we're doing, and try to increase the consistency in a measured way, and so that we don't lose interest. Because for a lot of people, you know, YouTube is like a dream opportunity, and believe me, Dan, have you felt ups and downs through the cycle, like saying at times that, you know, maybe I should just throw in the towel because I'm still at 150 subs and it's 4 months, you know, like, you know, you go through a lot of cycles of different things at different times.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely, it's, for one, I would say that you definitely need, when we talk about consistency, it's trying to find a schedule that works for whatever your situation is. Myself, I can basically only do, I have a full-time career outside of YouTube. I don't do this full-time. You know, I basically start my YouTube day at like 9 o'clock at night most of the time. That's why I do these live streams when I do. But there's definitely times, especially in my situation, where the last thing I want to do at 9 o'clock at night, after everything else that has gone on, is make a video. But I think it really, the most important thing about consistency is first discovering exactly what is reasonable, you know, what you can maintain without burnout. You don't want to come up, you don't want to say consistent, hey, I'm going to do 5 videos a week because I want to grow, if that's something that you can't maintain, and it's just going to cause you to burn out, because you know, burnout is far worse than doing less videos on a regular basis, because you will probably stop and you'll need a break, and that complete break from your channel is going to cause you more issues than doing less videos. So if, like he said, you can definitely grow over time at 1 video a week, or, you know, whatever it is. If you're somebody who does more in-depth videos, you know, even 1 video a month could probably do that. But the point is, you really, first of all, you don't want to get into the habit of comparing yourself to other channels and trying to maintain whatever schedule they're on. Everybody is absolutely different. There are some people who do this full time, and they can, you know, they can achieve a lot more. So figure out what's right for you, and then establish a schedule that's not going to burn you out, and try to stick with it, and be aware that you need to stick with it. Call it the next 2 years or the next 18 months. You can't just come up.
That's a great point.
You can't come up with,
people need to have a, say, you know, unless it's just a hobby and you're just putting stuff up and it brings you pleasure to do that and share what you're doing. But if you're trying to make something bigger of it, you really need to have patience. Like, I'm still sitting here patiently and you know, wondering, is my niche too small, or have I diversified enough? Am I executing enough here and there, and whether it's going to blow up to something bigger to be able to be more financially successful outside? And, you know, all of this stuff plays with you. And I'm 18 months in. There are others that, like you said, blow past you. And then there are others that haven't had the kind of success that I've had. And that's why you're really testing what you're made of. Yep. Because it's kind of like a lonely kind of place, this YouTube effort that you have to put in to actually produce. But it's at the same time, if you get joy from doing it and creating, it's a phenomenal feeling. And to be able to do something the way I feel, to be able to serve others in a way that wherever they are around the world, and there's people all over the world that watch, and I just so grateful that this kind of opportunity exists. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that's something that gets overlooked a lot, is just how amazing an opportunity is that you can sit in the comfort of your home and create something that you can, you know, like you said, all over the world. Literally, you know, every country that has internet can at some point interact with your channel and become fans. And
imagine how many 20,000 plus views on a video that's a week and change old. So can you imagine that many people clicked a button to watch something that Dan produced? Yeah, so it's pretty amazing.
And just as an example, that video, 53% of those 20,000 were from the U.S. That means the other 47% were scattered throughout, you know, Canada and the UK and India and a number of different countries. So it's amazing how far you can reach, you know, and our parents and grandparents certainly couldn't do this. They had to write a letter and mail it to somebody to get that kind of message across. So it is definitely an opportunity, and there's, I mean, there's really no reason why you can't make it into something significant if that's what you're, what you're interested in.
Absolutely.
I'm getting a low video output. I hope that's temporary.
Your quality looks fine on my end.
Okay.
So was there any other?
I saw one question about business cards, but then it looked like the guy left the stream. So, business cards, it was asking if he thought it was important for business cards for YouTube channels. I mean, if you're doing a lot of conferences and things and you want an easy way, but there's a lot of people that aren't super high on business cards. So, you know.
Yeah, you know what's funny? I at Vid Summit, where we first met in person this past fall, I had printed, it's a funny story, I had printed all kinds of business cards before leaving in a rush. And I forgot to put my YouTube channel on it. So this is to that point, and the thing is, you know, although I handed out some of them, the reality is also that, you know, we exchange ID information and stuff through all the online channels, and your website is a great ambassador for you, and everyone needs a destination to find you. So whether it's your website or a LinkedIn profile or things like that, or finding you on YouTube, you know, I'm sure it's important, but I think it would be more dependent on what kind of career work where it's that important to have a reference to YouTube on your card, right?
Like, yeah, at Vid Summit, good example. I also printed business cards. I even went so far to make my YouTube channel a QR code on the back so people could scan them. Used a few of them, but it's funny because one of our mutual acquaintances, Dale Roberts, who does self-publishing things, he's very anti-business card. He's like, when we went to Vid Summit, he said something to the effect, "Oh, I can't stand it when people hand me business cards." So of course the first thing I did when he said that was give him a business card. So yeah, it's just funny depending on who you're dealing with. I mean, we're in such a technology age now with phones and everything else. It's probably just as easy to share your information as a contact on the phone.
Well, I've seen they now have some kind of business card concept. I remember Lou Bortone was showing this, where you actually kind of like, I don't know whether it's a QR code or some kind of scan read, you face your phone onto the card, and then it gives a whole bunch of other, it's like an app that gives you all kinds of other information associated with the individual. It plays a video, so it's like a video business card.
Nice.
Which is like, it's really amazing where the potential's going. So
oh yeah. Let's see if there's any other questions. If not, we will let Gord get to work on his channel. Again, it is youtube.com/Gord Isman. If you haven't checked him out, I put the link in the chat a couple times, so definitely check him out.
And that's Isman, I-S-M-A-N. Yeah.
Yep, I-S-M-A-N.
Gord Isman, it's I-S-M-A-N. A lot of people spell it with a... Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, let's see here. All right, so I think we are going to transition here, and what I'm going to do on the live stream here real quick, bear with me for 2 seconds. I'm going to say goodbye to Gord. Again, check out his channel if you haven't, And Gord, I appreciate you coming on the channel today. It was a pleasure chatting with you, and I can't wait to see you smash that goal. What I'm going to do with you guys on the stream real quick is I want to see if I can do this. Give me 2 seconds. We're going to put that up there. You can still hear me, I imagine. And Gord will go ahead and head off.
Bye, everyone. Cheers.
And I just want to make sure, real quick here. All right. See if we got this figured out here. This is the first, let's see here. Perfect. All right, much better. So we were using Zoom, just so you guys know what I was doing. Had a bunch of technical difficulties right before we started, so I wanted to make sure that, let's see here. Hang on 1 second. Oh, we will figure it out. Trying to, anyway. Almost there. So anyway, with that being the first live stream that I have done with a guest, my challenge was how to bring him in and capture everything properly. So, and one of the challenges I'm already seeing here is getting this properly situated. It's a little bit better. All right, so I just want to jump in the chat real quick, say hello to everybody. Let's see, Stuck Up British Cook Doug Hewson, The Geeks of Retro, Star Wings, please promote my channel. That's not how we roll here in the Shire. Boom. Let's see. Boom. Okay. Who else did I see? YT, Police Captain J, Canal, our officers. Good to see you. Thanks for joining the stream. Hey, if anybody wants to do a channel review, let me know. And we're not going to do a ton of them, but if anybody wants to do them, we'll do a couple. Nelson Guerrero, welcome to the stream. Lucasor Gaming. What do we need to do to get a channel review from you? Oh, well, let's see how many people here. I could use input, do mine. Oh, that's why. All right, I see a couple. All right, don't want to do too many here, so Tyler Scott, Illusionist. Let me take a look here quick. Pardon me for the coughs, but apparently I have the pleasure of getting another cold or whatever this happens to be. All right, bear with me.
Okay. Like that?
Stop that. All right, so we're going to take a look at Tyler Scott Illusionist channel. Try to get a good view in here. All right. And we'll see what's going on his channel. Okay. Tyler Scott Illusionist reviews and live performances. Go ahead and click that subscribe button. Almost to 200. Hopefully you'll get there before the end of the stream. And let's see what you got going on. So, reviews and live performances. Let's take a look at your videos. Precise. The one thing that I would say off the bat with your thumbnails, I would try to tie them all together a little bit more, you know, so people can tell they're from your channel. You have a kind of a variety of different things going on here. If you can kind of find a theme to make them all look like they come from your channel and are all related to each other, that would be a great way to kind of grow your brand. Playlists, Joker's Heist, not sure what that is, Magic Reviews, Live Magic, Street Magic, No Pressure, Doubting Thomas. Alright, so you definitely want to get some playlists on your channel page. You can do that if you haven't. You'll have a little thing that allows you to edit your channel page, and then you can add sections. There'll be a little button down here, and you can do horizontal playlists. Or at least horizontal playlists are my personal preference, because it allows you to list out your thumbnails and show people more of your content and give them the opportunity to subscribe to your channel. But your art up here obviously tells people what your channel is about, along with your title. You got your icon going there. I might, like I said, find a way to incorporate your branding on your channel art into your thumbnail so people can kind of figure out that everything goes together. That would be my suggestion there. About section. Definitely want to fill out your about section and explain what type of videos you're going to do and anything else that you want to consider. You may want to consider minimizing the number of links that you're using here and up here if your goal is to actually grow your YouTube channel, because you want to try to keep people hanging around your YouTube channel for as long as possible rather than send them off to another platform. So that would be my suggestions on your channel. All right. Congestion is getting strong, so I apologize if I sound funny. I see the Endeavoring family in the chat. Ooh, my apologies. I missed my mute button. Alright, let me take a look here and make sure that this one, see what this looks like.
The green skin.
Alright. Alright, so the next we're going to look at LucasAur Gaming.
Green skin and their
preferably
brown outfits.
Without playing the video, alright. So LucasAur Gaming, I can see a variety of games in the channel art. I can certainly tell that it is a gaming channel. Looks like it might be maybe a mother-son duo. Possibly. Here, let's look at your videos. Alright. So, looks like we have some Roblox. I see Pokemon. Roblox, Pokemon. Just a couple things on your thumbnails. You got yourself in your thumbnails, so I think for the most part they look like they all go together, which is good, so people can tell that it is related to your content. The one thing I would say, just as a something to consider is try to keep text out of the lower right-hand corner of your thumbnails because the timestamp will hide it. And the timestamp's even bigger. It comes out to about here. See if you can actually see that. It comes out even farther, and it'll block more of that text. So when you can, avoid putting text in the lower right-hand corner of your thumbnails. So you got your playlists, popular videos. We got Roblox. Looks like those are popular. Family fun videos. A little bit of a variety there. See how we're putting that together on our...
Their green skin and their brown.
All right. Yeah, I mean, as you upload more videos, you want to try to fill up
Their green skin and
oh, can't get that to auto stop. All right. You want to kind of add playlists and get as much of your content exposed as possible. Rather than doing this created playlist, I think it's a little bit more effective if you actually select the single playlist and do the horizontal listing, because it allows people to see all your thumbnails and the titles of your videos, and potentially will get people to see something that they're interested in and check out some of your content. About section, if you're looking for family-friendly gaming, you found it. Kids and family having fun. 9-year-old Lucasaur, brother Westasaur, sisters. You got a dinosaur theme going here. Mobile and PC games. All right, so that's filled out nicely.
the green skin.
Click the subscribe button, and yeah, I think that is pretty much it. I would continue doing what you're doing in terms of making sure that you're in your thumbnails, and just work on getting your text out of that lower right hand corner. Thank you, Nelson Guerrero, for subscribing. I appreciate it. Motormens, hello to you. Lucas Gaming, what happened there? We just shot past Scott's thoughts and stuff. Thank you for joining the stream. Science Gal Aquatics, The Barnyard Chicken, Motormen, Stalker Investing, Daily Cinemas, thank you for subscribing. What we got here? Definitely click that like button. I do appreciate it. All right, and Ever Outdoors. All right, well, I appreciate everybody coming and hanging out on the stream. I unfortunately have another cold because there's like 1,200 different colds apparently going around, and I decided to get all of them this season. So, and I think my ibuprofen is wearing off. So, I think that's all we're going to do for tonight. I do see some people looking for reviews, but you can definitely catch the next live stream, and we will try to do reviews. Also, depending on how many reviews we get on those, we'll try to give priority to super chats, which will help Creator Fundamentals grow the channel, and try to get out to a couple of conferences this year to meet with some industry experts and bring back some more knowledge on how to grow your channel. So, Daily Cinemas says, bro, I don't know who that was for. Alright, so Sting Vlogs, thank you for joining the live stream. Geeks of Retro, taking a ton of notes, awesome. A ton of videos out there that you guys can check out on Creator Fundamentals if you haven't subscribed yet and you want to grow your channel. It is my goal to simplify YouTube, and that's what I try to do with all my videos, so definitely check those out. Special thanks to the British Cook, or British Cook. Is it just youtube.com/British Cook? Let me know in the chat. Here, maybe, actually, you know what? Let me get it. I'll get it for you. Hang on. And I will share that link. Give me 1 second. All right, if you want to make yourself hungry, definitely check out British Cook's channel. He was nice enough to be the moderator for this live stream and possibly future live streams if I can encourage him to hang around and do that. So definitely check out his channel. I appreciate all his help. I appreciate all you guys coming to hang out on the live stream tonight. That is all for now. I will talk to you guys later. If you haven't done so, you can join the Creative Fundamentals Facebook group, interact there with other YouTubers, and I check it out and monitor that. So that's a great way to get a hold of me if you need to or interested to. And you can just search for Creative Fundamentals on Facebook and select the group. All right, that's all for tonight, guys. Thank you so much for joining the stream. I appreciate it. Now I'm going to bed because this is just, yeah, it's awful. So I will talk to you guys soon. Good night.